Welcome to episode 96 of Norse Myths, Legends, and Folktales. My name is MyLinda Butterworth, and today we begin the Saga of Frithiof, where we learn about the children of King Bele and Jarl Thorstein and their upbringing in chapter 1, called Frithiof and Ingeborg. Thus beginneth the tale, telling how that King Bele ruled over Sogn-land. 3 children had he, whereof Helgi was his firstborn, and Halfdan his second, but Ingeborg his daughter. Ingeborg was fair of face and wise of mind, and was called Ingeborg the Fair, and she was ever accounted the foremost of the king's children. Now a certain strand went west of the firth, and a great stead was thereon, which was called Baldur's Mead. A place of peace was there, and a great temple, and round about it a great garth of pales. Many gods were there, but amidst them all was Baldur held of most account. So jealous were the heathen men of this stead, that they would have no hurt done therein to man nor beast, nor might any man have dealings with a woman there. Sostrand was the name of that stead, whereas the king dwelt. But on the other side the firth was an abode named Fornus, where dwelt a man called Thorstein, the son of Viking, and his stead was over against the king's dwelling. Thorstein had a son by his wife called Frithiof. He was the tallest and strongest of men, and more furnished of all prowess than any other man, even from his youth up. Frithiof the Bold was he called, and so well beloved was he that all prayed for good things for him. Now the king's children were but young when their mother died. When Ingeborg reached her 6th year, the king said to Thorstein, his brother-in-arms and lifelong friend, "My rosebud Ingeborg is the joy of my heart, but none the less I must send her away, and entrust her to the guardianship of Hilding the Wise, so that far from the turmoil and distractions of a court, the light of true knowledge shall be hers. But lest she should miss the companionship of her beloved playfellow, I pray thee permit thy son Frithiof to accompany her, that they may be reared together." "Gladly will I do so," replied Thorstein, "not alone to honor thy request, but because I know thou hast my son's welfare also at heart, in sending him as the companion of thine own child, to be taught by the wise Hilding. My king's will shall be done." Hilding's abode lay on the sea-coast, surrounded by gardens and wooded hills, and there Ingeborg and Frithiof spent the years of their childhood, faithfully taught and cared for by the good man. 2 rare blossoms of the Northland were these children, both richly endowed with gifts of mind and body. Ingeborg was like the swelling rosebud within those heart that promise of the spring lies dreaming, while Frithiof grew up tall and strong as a young oak tree, crowned with its crest of rustling leaves. So blessed by the gods were they with health and beauty that they never had their like been seen in all the north. Now, listening to the wondrous tales of their wise master with clear eyes uplifted to his, now racing over the sunny meadows or dancing lightly into the dark boughs of the fir trees in the silvery moonlight, they were like the light fairies, whose appearance betokens blessings and fills the heart with anticipation of joy. Frithiof was but little older than Ingeborg, and when he first learned from Hilding to read the runic signs, it was his delight to teach them in turn to his beloved playmate. Ofttimes they would sail out upon the wind-tossed sea, and when the shifting of the sails sent foam and spray dashing into the boat, Ingeborg would clap her small hands in glee. No tree was too high for the bold lad when he wished to capture a nest of young birds for the king's child. Even the osprey's eyrie, high among the rocky crags, was not safe from his daring quest. 'Twas he that found her the first pale blossoms of the springtime, the first ripe strawberry, the summer's first golden ear of corn. Joyously they wandered together in the forest, Frithiof armed to protect his playmate in case of need, for he early strove to train himself in all a hero's duties. Thus, like a beautiful dream, the happy days of childhood glided by. Ingeborg blossomed in maidenhood, and Frithiof became a stalwart youth. The king's daughter spent more time in her own chambers now, learning the tasks of women, chief of which was the weaving of garments, while Frithiof was often abroad with the men in quest of game or booty. So strong was Frithiof that he pulled the 2 bow oars of Ulayad, but either oar was 13 ells long, and 2 men pulled every oar other were. Inheriting not only his father's strength and daring, but also his discretion and cheerfulness, he was beloved by all, and soon aroused the wonder of his companions in the chase by the boldness with which he would attack the fiercest beast, felling them with a blow from his spiky club, or piercing them with the sharp-pronged spear. As in early days, he had been wont to bring his playmate gifts of flowers or fruit, or greetings of the season. So now he laid at her feet the trophies of his prowess, shaggy bears or grisly wild boars, often revealing upon his body bloody traces of the struggle. Admiringly, Ingeborg's gaze would rest at such times on the young hero, while her heart beat fast in the terror of his life. And when on cold winter nights they sat together in the great hall by the blazing hearth fire, listening to the legends old Hilding told them of the gods, or when the king's daughter would sing of the deeds of some great hero long at rest beneath his grassy mound, she seemed to Frithiof like a goddess sent by the great All-Father for a brief space to the darkness earth to awaken a foretaste of Valhalla's delights. Praises of Frigga's golden hair are sung throughout the land, he would say to himself, but surely it can be no more beautiful than Ingeborg's fair tresses. And when he gazed into those soft eyes, so full of heaven's own light and hue, he doubted Hilding's declaration that the eyes of the goddess Frigga were the most beautiful in all the world. And here is where I end my tale for today. But I'll be back with more tales, many more tales. Until then, my friends, enjoy the journey.